first episode of Building Web3 as a video live stream. For today, we have a special guest with us, Leonard from Atlas DEX.
Thanks for having me, Mo, from the MeanFi team.
You're welcome. So let's jump into it. Where are you calling from, Leonard? Where are you based right now?
Right now I'm based in Singapore, but the Atlas DEX team really is quite international. So we have, staff working from everywhere across the globe.
Oh, nice. So how's the weather there, by the way? I'm based in Bangkok, and it has been insane.
I think the weather in Singapore it's really worse. It's really quite hot in Singapore right now.
Okay, so you don't have the monsoon, so that's good. All
Yeah.
right, so let's dig a bit deep about you first and then go into Atlas DEX. Tell us a bit about yourself, who you are as a person, when did you get into Web3, and what was the motivation behind it?
So basically, I'm at Atlas DEX. I'm part of the growth team, and I've really been here since the start. So before this, I was doing more product marketing, and then when I came to Atlas DEX, the role changed a little bit. So now I'm doing a bit more product marketing and taking on the role as a product manager. Part of the core team here at Atlas DEX as well.
Oh, nice, nice. So tell us about Atlas DEX. Tell us the beginning, where you are now, and where you might be going.
So right now, if those that don't know Atlas DEX, we are a cross-chain DEX aggregator. Users are able to swap tokens across the different blockchains, and we currently support more than 1,500 tokens, and we
Wow.
access liquidity from over 120 different DEXs, and we are on 6 different blockchains. So Atlas DEX really provide this service for users that want to swap tokens from one chain to another in a very easy to use manner. Mm.
Nice, very impressive. Oops, sorry, there was some sound over there. Um, and tell us, let's go into what everyone's been talking about. Bear market. What are your thoughts on this? Where do you think we are, and how's Atlas building around it?
Yeah, I think macroeconomic trends like this, bear markets where the token prices and activity has been really down. It's really nothing compared to what we have, in the middle of the year last year, in June 2021. Things are really different, and I think um, bear markets, when you see bear markets, you see that the DeFi activity is down, you see trading volumes down, you see token prices across different tokens down, and also there are a lot of projects that just disappear into thin air. So I think building in bear markets is really quite an interesting experience, because it removes a lot of the froth from the market. It removes a lot of the speculation, the hype, and I think it's times like this where really focus in on what really matters, which is you know if you are a project and you're really going
Hmm.
for decentralization, or your project you're really going for users to be exposed to the financial space. I think things like that really focuses in on what your project really stands for, what your project really matters, and I would say building in bear markets really is quite exciting.
So on this, like, do you think your team would have done something different if it wasn't the bear market as opposed to what they're doing now in the bear market?
Mm, well, we believe that in let's say in December 2021, um, when we were doing our ICO, we started out with a vision to build a DEX aggregator, cross-chain DEX aggregator, and essentially we have delivered that vision, that promise to build this core product that can benefit the DeFi community. But I think, of course, as time goes on, we have also changed a little bit of our product strategy. Now we are trying to build this ecosystem as well, whereby the LSDEX token can get used in different ways, and to increase its to increase its utilization and utility
Nice.
of token holders. So um, we are regrouping, and we are changing the strategy to fit the market climate. And I believe even the MeanFi team has done so as well.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yep, I think all teams that are building have realigned with their real vision and gone, double down on what bringing out quality products as opposed to just, in numbers, let's call it that. So interesting. And since this is a show all about building Web3, what's your take on Web3? Why do you think it's so important, even if it is?
I think that's a really really good question, because I think one thing about Web3 is that it's such a it's like a jargon that just been thrown around. Everybody just, oh, Web3, but no one really really specify what is Web3. So I think Web3 is crypto, Web3 is blockchain. I think that's all one in the same, and you really cannot take out Web3 from blockchain, and you can't take out Web3 from smart contracts. You can take it out from even cryptocurrency as well, because I think it's all about decentralization. It's all about the trustless nature of things, and it's all about you know being permissionless, eventually reaching that
Mm-hmm.
goal, right? And I think Web3, it's a really important space, because um, as they say, Web2 is read only, and you don't really control your data. I think in the Web3 space, you'll start to own your data. You start to be able to participate, and
Mm-hmm.
I think this would open up the gates um, for everyone to access financial services. They can access their social media, and they can be able to benefit from their own data as well. And I think that's something that's quite
So
quite
monetizing on their data as opposed to being monetized.
that's right. Because it at the end of the day, it really comes to question, where is it's like, who is the intermediary, right? In
Right.
Web3, we really remove most of this middleman, and the user gets to benefit, right? But I think how it plays out, whether you still be, there'll still be large corporations, I think we still have to see how Web3 develops.
Yeah, so on this, let's continue this since you actually finished where I wanted to ask you the question. How do you envision Web3 evolving?
So I think currently you see Web3 as, um, there's not a lot of it's still a really really new space. There's so much things happening, and I can see it's I don't think it's a fad. I think it's something that will definitely, it takes time. Eventually, a lot of these traditional Web2 firms will have to transit to Web3. And you can see even these large, tech firms, these FANG firms, are
Mm-hmm.
also trying to keep up with these Web3 trends. It's just that I think it's a lot to do with their own strategy as well. They don't want to lose out, this market share that they have with the Web2 space.
Right.
And I think it takes a very it's a slow transition, for users to get on board with Web3 and to understand Web3. Because I don't expect, my parents or even my grandparents to jump on board to the Web3 space, whereby they own their data and they own all the operations. It's really quite it's a new space, but I can see incremental changes with like firms such as like MeanFi, whereby you manage your own money, whereby you do vesting on your own
Mm-hmm.
without having um, third parties to manage it for you. Because um, I believe traditionally, if you want to do vesting, if you want to do you know managing money, you need a custodian, you need third party.
Exactly. It's more complex, and then also like with us, it's no code token vesting as well, which means that you don't need to hire an engineer or any additional manpower or resources
Mm,
to utilize the token vesting feature seamlessly. Takes like a few minutes to set up, and you're ready, and you guarantee all your investors, advisors that their tokens are vested, and they're streamed appropriately. So also creates real transparency there.
mm,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm, so and I have some exposure to the finance space as well, traditional finance space. And
Mm-hmm.
if you really dig deep into what's how the traditional finance space is run, there is a lot of intermediaries, there is a lot of third parties, and I think Web3 is is one way, to cut down some of the inefficiencies in the space, and to really transform it to allow, even the unbanked to have access to financial services. Mm.
Yeah, you guys do it quite well, though, like, right? I mean, you have a whole section on education on your website, which is I went through it, and there's some really interesting articles, well thought out, well written, and I think you publish what about every 2 weeks?
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for taking a look at our education section, because it is one of our strategies that we tried to is one of our implementations that we tried, in starting in the bear market, because we
Hmm.
find, when when the froth starts to slow down and it gets removed, maybe it's time for users to, start slowly get like finding out like what is the real deal about DeFi, and
Hmm.
really learn about, what is the user benefit there, and not just a get rich quick scheme. So, yeah, we do content every, 2 weeks, and we talk about things like, what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum, things that are more user friendly for you to get into crypto, into DeFi as well, or into Web3. And it's really simple to understand articles. You can go pop by. We have released one on Ethereum, which covers, a lot of the which summarizes a lot of the decentralized applications that we have in the DeFi space. And it's a good idea for users who, want to explore different DApps, and
Hmm.
want to take a look, what they can try out. And yeah, so I think education is one thing that can get, new people into the space, because when you learn, they understand it. It's not just, something which their friends have
Yeah,
speculated with. You get
exactly.
understand.
So on this, let me ask you. You mentioned education is a part of your strategy. So let's continue with that and see. Um, Tell us your long-term vision and strategy, since we were talking as education being part of it. So what else compiles it together?
Mm, yeah. So, thanks for asking that as well. I think, um, as with every DeFi protocol, we really need, long-term strategy about what we aim to achieve. What is our niche in the space. And so I think one of Atlas DEX's niche is that we want to be a cross-chain. We want to be the one of the leaders in the cross-chain space, you know, and we believe that it's one of the areas that's not really developed enough. So,
Hmm.
for example, people will ask us, why use a cross-chain DEX? Why not just, do everything on a single chain? Be a ETH maxi, be a Solana maxi. And I think, you know, yes, um, these chains are really well run. So, for example, Solana, it's pretty well run. Ethereum is really well run, especially with the merge and all the promises that they're making. But I believe that, as time goes on, we'll start to see more and more chains, because different chains serve different functions. For example, with Avalanche, they have the subnets, which serve different
Right.
functions. For projects that want, their own chain, you have execution chain, you have different chains, and Solana is probably high speed, and Ethereum is highly decentralized. So I believe as we go on, we'll start to see more of this differentiation, on why on different chains that users use to serve different functions. There might be highly secure chains, there might be highly private chains, like the yep. So
Hmm.
as we
So
go on,
you're
we
all.
just
Sorry about this noise echo. I'm not sure why this happens.
uh,
Um, so you started on Solana, is that correct?
well, we started on Solana, but we are
Hmm.
quite chain agnostic as well. So we don't really say we are a Solana project or we are a Avalanche project. We are, we are on all 6 different blockchains as well, mm, which is namely
Nice.
Ethereum, Binance, Polygon, um, Avalanche, and Phantom as well, and Solana. Yeah.
So that means you're almost creating cross-chain partnerships as well, right? Can we talk a bit
Mm,
about that if you are okay to? Because I'm
yeah.
curious about it. Like being a project from one chain and then going multi-chain is quite different and unique in your case with Atlas because you're on so many chains already, which means that you are working with projects simultaneously on those chains.
Well, so, um, I wouldn't say that we. we are a Solana project, and then we moved to being multi-chain. I think
Hmm.
when we started out, as when we started out as Atlas DEX, we already have this multi-chain vision, which is to unite, the different chains together, and to be able to have a cohesive DeFi product, that's not just fragmented everywhere. So I think this is important, and of course with collaborations with different chains, we we do like collaborate with different Solana projects such as MeanFi. Um, we do collaboration with the Wormhole team,
Hmm.
which is a big supporter of Atlas DEX, through their decentralized bridge. And also, I think we are really open to future collaborations with other projects on different chains as well, because I believe this is something that Atlas DEX wants to have, which is cross-chain collaborations with all other projects on every different chain.
Nice. So that means that you just maybe potentially just, or do you already have an SDK? Sorry, I did not go into depth into checking
Mm.
into that.
Yeah, but before I go to our SDK, I will share
Hmm.
a bit more of our about our long-term plans as well. So
Please,
for
this
yeah,
is, yes, I think we
mm,
skipped that.
yeah. So for us, the cross-chain DEX has been built out. You can use it to swap, from let's say from you want to swap Radium from Solana over to the Curve token on Ethereum. It's all possible. um, what we do is that we aggregate liquidity from all the different DEXs to try to minimize the slippage as much as possible. And so our core
Mm.
product is built up, but we do have many different product visions as well. So um, one thing that's coming out is our one-to-one stable swap. So what one-to-one stable swap means is that, let's say you want to swap your USDT token to your USDT token, yeah, you're able to do it, one to one. And how we are able to do so is, through um, really having really deep liquidity to minimize the slippage, matching orders well. And what this will be able to do for us is that users are able to move funds freely between the chains, and they'll be able to benefit from um, this low slippage as well.
Really
And
interesting. So they don't have to wrap and unwrap their tokens. It's
and,
just going
and
to be as simple as using Atlas Text and having the freedom to swap it. Is that correct?
absolutely. And even right now, you don't have to wrap and unwrap your token. You can just trade native tokens on our DEX. So this is something that we have delivered. And so also on top of our one-to-one stable swaps, we have we are simplifying the fee process to make it easier for you to make transactions. We are also trying to roll out this multi-chain dashboard, hopefully by end of this year, whereby you are able to manage your funds from the different chains. You're able um, to transfer tokens easily, and this is
Hmm.
something you can visualize all your funds on every different chains. You can move your funds around easily, and there won't be a there will be let's it will minimize the occurrences whereby you have funds everywhere in the different blockchains, which is something which
So that means you have multi wallet accessibility as well.
yep, that's right. Mhm.
Nice. All right. Really interesting. I think this gets more exciting as we proceed
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
into it. Yeah, so this is what I was asking you, I think, before. Thank you for sharing your long term vision and the roadmap around this. Coming to your SDKs, I think I quickly touched on that. So, do you want to like go around letting us know like how does one project engage with you, or how to best utilize what you have on offering?
Mhm. So what our SDK, so what our software development kit is for projects to integrate with Atlas DEX, to be able to have a collaboration with their project and our project as well. So what our SDK will do is that you're able to use our protocols natively on your own projects as well. So for example, if you want to do a swap, if you want to incorporate Atlas DEX's swaps or Atlas DEX's liquidity pool, you're able to do so with with this like software development kit plugin.
Mm-hmm.
And what this means is that, for example, with MeanFi, your MeanFi now does um vesting transfers, recurring transfers, things that are really
Yep.
um you can see them on traditional finance space,
Yep.
um such as like recurring transactions, vesting, but they're all done on the Solana network. So users have to do their activities on the Solana network with MeanFi. So what this means is that you will have future competitors on Ethereum, you have future competitors on Binance, unless you are able to integrate your project onto these chains as well. But even if you do so, um, um, so currently, if users want to move their funds to Binance, they have to
Mm-hmm.
wrap their token and bridge it over from Solana to Binance. But maybe with SDK integration with Atlas DEX, you are able to select the chain that you want to move it to and the token you want to move it to, and everything is integrated into this one DeFi protocol like MeanFi. So I think as we progress, we'll see more and more use cases for this SDK as well. And as we try to onboard more
Nice.
projects interested, um, we believe that this is something that can potentially change the DeFi space.
Definitely, it really sounds quite exciting. I mean, the option is just to change one is to one stable swap to start with itself sounds like you might be getting quite a bit of users and traffic. And around that, like, how's your user activity been? Like, are you where do you currently stand? Do you see that growing? Of course, we see that growing past the bear market, but how are you now when it comes to the usage of your platform?
So I think one thing good about Atlas is that even though we're in a bear market, um, we still see consistent usage of our taxes. So I think um, this is quite a relief for us because, um, and I believe um, this is one of the reasons why we need you know that. Sorry, let me rephrase it. So I think this is one of the reasons why um, certain DeFi protocols, if they are important to the space, if they are useful, even in a bear market, they will still be used.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is something that LSX is quite happy for because even though swap volumes have decreased, but users still need to bridge, users still need to move and participate on the different protocols. So we still see consistent usage of our swaps, but of course it's not as high as what we had in the bull market. Because
Definitely.
really
Yeah.
cheap. Mm.
It has. Coming around to this, you spoke a bit earlier about community, I remember. Are you planning at some point, like heading towards a direction of a DAO?
Mm. So yeah, definitely. So the Atlas DEX DAO is something that we are planning long term ahead for. So this is something that we have in mind to have you know decentralized control and decision making for our community. And I think this is something that all projects need to slowly head towards a DAO. It's just that
Hmm.
it's all a matter of the time frame as well, when we decide to eventually move to a DAO, or is it better for now to manage the project, build up the project first, let it be stable, make it secure, which is something really important for LSDEX because we are dealing with billions of swap volumes, billions of swap volumes, and that's why things like auditing is important, security is important. So where we are trying to route certain projects and then reassess whether we can move to a DAO in the future as well. Mm.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. That was, yeah, because the way it seems now with all the information that you have shared with us and the listeners is that you're pretty much know where your North Star is and you're in the right direction.
Absolutely. So I think
Yeah.
it's and even we see projects with a north star, projects that know what they're doing, they are able to navigate this bear market quite well. We look at like Uniswap, even though swaps volumes have never been what it was in the in the
Bull
bear market,
market. Yeah.
in the bull market, they still have a lot of marketing activities. People are still using the chains. The trading volume is still consistent. So I think as long as the project has a when you analyze projects, you have to find out whether they really have a product that matches the what the market needs,
Hmm.
and whether the team is committed to this DeFi vision as well.
Yeah, on this, like you saw, Uniswap did that move with NFTs, right? And now is also an NFT aggregator. Um, what's your take on NFTs? I'm curious to know, like genuinely.
Oof, that's a really good question. mm, I think um, in the pure sense, NFTs, which are they are tokenized um, digital assets, so they
Hmm.
are meant to represent they're just a unique form uh, of block on-chain assets, right?
Hmm.
So in the pure sense, NFTs are really really good thing. They and I believe they are the wave that is happening right now in the crypto space. But of course, mm, there are some froth in the NFT space, especially in the bull market. I think no one really questions that. But um, they are still an important part of the DeFi space, because in order for you to have decentralized assets, you need something like an NFT, whereby you're able to store assets in a unique way, in a secure way, in a way that can be traded in an open market. And I believe this is something that's important for the crypto space, but um, but it really depends on the kind of NFT that you are
Yeah,
building.
but like as a DEX, right? Do you see at some point adding NFTs to your DEX as well? Because
This is yeah.
you can see
So,
that happening now, where there are projects coming up where you can swap your NFT similar to a token, or swap an NFT, plus some token. And the way it's going, it's almost going multi-chain. You can see that with OpenSea, Magic Eden. So how do you see a DEX and NFTs merging?
mm, so really good question. This is something that the Atlas DEX team has been analyzing from the start as well, to maybe incorporate NFTs um, to have some form of support for our users in the space that deal with NFTs. So, but we are still in the implementation phase. So we will not be releasing anything at this moment. Yeah. But I think it's an interesting space, and when we'll be excited for what the NFT space would bring. But right
Yep,
now,
yep,
nothing
definitely.
concrete to share right now.
No, no, definitely. But thank you for sharing some alpha there. Like, definitely, this is quite interesting because me personally, I'm quite passionate about them in
Mm,
one way or another. I think that was one of my main attraction to getting into Web3, more so than holding tokens at any point.
So
So,
what do you think about NFTs then?
um, well, from my personal view, I see NFTs becoming almost like a membership card, pretty much, whether it be a DAO, it be all the way from IDOs, um,
Mm,
or any form of participation. Like you might in future have your DEX as a freemium model where only NFT holders will get certain additional features, or a discount on maybe some transactions, as opposed to having the same for everyone else.
wow, mm, this
Like,
sounds really really good ideas.
yeah, yeah, this is just the way I see it, right? When I think about NFTs with DeFi, but I think the application is beyond DeFi. I see NFTs
Mm,
as insurance. I see NFTs as almost like your work experience, and that they're coming out with that as well, right? Reputational NFTs.
mm, wow,
So
it is really almost a magical space, right?
it is a magical space. I think you just take the ideas that you have, find the problem, and find the magic that solves that problem.
Mm, absolutely. And I think, yeah, the sky really is the limit for Web3, and Web3 NFTs and the like as well, because there's so much implementation, not just in finance, not just in art, but in everywhere across the world. So, for example, what you shared about how tokenized form of like a tokenized membership, this can be
Hmm.
implemented anywhere, right? So these are just um,
Yeah, this is just the beginning, I guess. Like they say, we're still early. So,
still early. I think and back to that and to that point, I think yeah, we're really really early.
yep, we are. But on this, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start wrapping this up. But before I do that, tell us a bit about where people can find you. I know we've tagged you on LinkedIn, we've tagged you on Twitter as well. How can users participate, and what's the easiest way to get in touch with you?
So, to access our website, you can go to atlasdex.finance. So that's our website. We also have our Twitter, atlas_dex, and you can follow our Telegram channel and our LinkedIn as well. It's quite it is quite slow, but we do have a LinkedIn page, and we do have a Medium whereby we'll be posting a lot of content on our Atlas education, mainly on how to navigate DeFi, mainly on really, really a lot of alpha insight. So you have to go and take a look, and we are also really community driven. So if you have a topic you want us to discuss about and that you think is interesting in the space, you just let us know, and we'll get our writers to write and research and explore the space together with the community.
Yeah, this would be interesting. I would be like quite excited to actually maybe explore that a bit further, because as we um, do something similar where we host this event, Building
Mm,
Web3 is one of the initiatives. The other one is also creating blogs on Medium, um, videos on YouTube, and the idea behind it is really onboarding the new users, but also educating existing users and simplifying Web3 for them. So would definitely be also excited to maybe explore one or two collaborative articles that we can maybe co-create
mm,
around the space.
definitely, I think we do have some ideas on our backlog. Like writing about wallets, writing about vesting, so things like that. I think would be a perfect collaboration for.
Definitely. Yeah, excited. Looking forward to that, Leonard.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm looking at Saturday there as well.
all right. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. I really appreciate you and Atlas DEX time for joining us and joining me in my first revamped Building Web3 session. And I'm going to give the stage to you for any closing thoughts, and then we shall be back again next week, hopefully.
Yep. So thank you for listening out for this Twitter Spaces. Really happy to be with the MeanFi team on their Twitter Spaces. It's really interesting stuff. Having different projects on to talk about the community, and I think it really brings the community together as well. So thanks Mo for having me on and the MeanFi team as well, and happy to join any other projects that would like to just have a friendly chat as well.
Oh, definitely. I think we're going to continue this on Telegram a bit later, but I appreciate the time, Leonard. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.